Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear
Hello?
me. Okay,
Botón. We're good.
we're good.
Okay, pues bienvenidos. Antes de comenzar, les pedimos que move up.
as an important factor.
the very first thing, it's like an oxymoron. It's a contradiction. If we talk about theology, we're talking about things that are invisible, things that we God was able to kind of translate that for us because we're not able to kind of observe everything around us. Imagine the invisible realities that we don't see that God has manifested. But he was able to put that. Okay, here's the body. Here's my body. Now I want you. I want to speak with you. Then if you think about it, if God is love, and we are created by God, and we are an incarnation of this love to a certain extent, then we can share into that greatness, into that sacramental, into that sacramental reality, into that sacredness. That there is something intended to be fully alive. And that was the intention. That was the first intention. And we see it in the beginning. Uh, in the beginning, let me just after God had created the world, after God had created the plants, water, everything, the Lord said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable to him." So our bodies are a sign and an instrument of God's divine grace. How do we ponder more into this? There are there are four different aspects of creation when it comes to man. So we have an original innocence in which we were walking into this world and just knowing God and the world around us, not knowing anything else. There is a sense of original sin, which is the first, with the original fall, and there's a sense of original unity, which is like I'll talk more about it in my next one. But there's also a sense of original solitude. Now, solitude is not a loneliness. Like, you can refer to it and say, "Oh, like man was lonely." Man was never lonely. He was alone, but not because he lacked company or he had God with him. But I want us to reflect on this. It's really a beautiful reflection, and I can tell you like how. had the opportunity to kind of dwell deeply into the theology of the body, and I would say to the source of it. And this is the whole the words of all the reflections of 42. I had such a good time. Just it was such a beautiful reflection, and I invite you to just buy and read it. And that idea of original solitude, man was alone. This solitude was rooted in the woman. And John Paul II, he says, one of his I think it was like the most powerful line that I read so far. He says that the minute that the man sees the woman, there's a joy. There's a first joy as a response that is also an invitation of that identity. Because if anything, that's what we should feel when we see God. So he saw in women also a reflection of God's love differently. But at the same time, once again, like with that diversity, okay, you're a woman, I'm a man. But at the same time, it's like that diversity joined them together. It was that community. It was that communion. So in the end, that's what we're striving for. We are diverse people, but it leads us to God. But nowadays, we got this idea of the way. So once again, we see that importance and that hierarchy of beings. God created a suitable being for Adam. Um, and I use this hierarchy of beings because nowadays I think we kind of flipped it over. We have God, we have man, we have animals, and I don't know. I don't know if you heard people saying like, "Oh, I'm a dog mom" or "I'm a dog dad." I hate that, to be honest, because it kind of leads you away from the original intention, the creation, procreation. That we have that identity, that identity as a male or as a female, that we recognize each other, that we are joined together, and just the fact that motherhood and fatherhood, God intended that exclusively for men and women. That's why I said like, oh, I'm a dog mom. I said, no, flesh of my flesh, bones of my bones. Like I finally found someone that is going to complement me. And we go back to that original solitude when the man recognizes his own solitude, but then he also recognizes woman's solitude. So now they each other, they join in that original solitude. Now we are not alone, but individually, because I am a man,
plan is to give life. So imagine if God's ultimate plan is to give life, which He did, and then He created men and women, male and female, to create more life. Then we have to think about this reality that it's not just a spiritual. It's not just a spiritual. Because sometimes we can run into, I would say, the idea of reducing everything to love. Like the fluffy like idea. But there's a spiritual component to it, which is sacrificial. I give something, and I don't expect anything in return, but I just want to give the same way that God did, because there's nothing that we can give God that He doesn't have already. He has everything. He creates everything. It's like me telling like God, you can have this cell phone if you give me your love. That's pretty much the equivalent of anything. That hilarious. Like He has everything. So if He's given something, we are called to do the same. That's the reason why we are given a body. That man is a body that is created to give that to the world, both spiritually and physically. So one cannot go without the other. We cannot say like, oh, I can just love you, but you know what? And even as I see that in couples in our modern world, we can get together, but we're not having kids, or we're not even getting married. There's always that like, okay, where are we going with a God's creation, with God's plan, original plan for the world? In that subjectivity, um, there is something that I always see, especially, and I talk a lot about the modern world, because I think it kind of goes with like the 1960s. We are seeing the very same pattern of a sexual revolution, of like, if I want to be I don't know, a cat, then I can be a cat. There's always that's relativism going on, and but let me tell you something. When God places Adam and Eve on the Garden of Eden, He tells them, you should eat from everything, but this is the only tree that you cannot eat from. And He tells them, if you eat from here, you're gonna die. You shall die. Think about it. If you don't know what's death, how can you make sense of it? Because imagine, till this point, there's no death. Yet God tells them, you're gonna die if you eat this. So, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, but if they didn't know what death was, how was He expecting them to understand? And then I was thinking more about it, because that's the truth. The truth doesn't change because I'm not able to understand it, or because I'm not able to accept it. It is what it is. He tells them, if you eat this, you're going to die. They don't know what death is. But you know what they know? They know the fullness of God. They know the fullness of life that they have within. So they are able to analyze that and say like, well, if this fullness, this joy, it's what's been alive, then anything that is contrary to this is death. I mean, they still do it. They still ate the fruit. But then again, that's the ignorance does not change the consequence. Nor God fitted man. God wasn't saying like, oh, because Adam is not able to understand death, you know what? I'm going to modify my plan so it will fit his understanding, or it will fit his preference. No, it is what it is. There was a consequence, and that they were spoken about, and that's like, when we talk about masculinity and femininity, that we have to live in that. Okay, there's a reality, there's a truth that God makes no mistakes. We were created in a way, and we were created for a plan, and that's what when that fall happens, there's a redemption. Redemption means to relive again, to come back to life, and that redemption of the body. So if God created Adam and Eve with that purpose, to be manifested fully into the world and to procreate that, when the fall happens, and years and years and years and years and decades and centuries happen, then God doesn't give up. He still wants to redeem His creation. Is I mean, it's a father, so it's a real father. So we have to think about it that way. It's a father, and if you think about your parents, even if you misbehave, or even if you do the worst thing to your parents, they will be willing to forgive you. They don't want to lose you. They're not going to be like, hey, get out of my life. No. But, it's a father that would not abandon his children. And he's still looking to redeem them. And then years, that theology comes into a body again. That theology of the body comes into life. Jesus Christ, God Himself, comes into the world to redeem to redeem the world. And in that original plan that He intended to have full life, He Christ comes and retells us the same thing, and He says it again. You know, a man will leave his father and mother and will join his wife, and they will become one. Why? Because that was the original plan. We were created for that spousal relationship. And it's the same thing, even with priests, that spousal relationship they have with the church and that life giving aspect. So, in the end, that's like the original plan that He intended for creation. Um, I know my time's up, but I just want to give you really quick, I think, how to live this theology of the body. I think just be. That's the word that I was praying through. How can I live it? Just be. First of all, you have to be a gift. You have to be a gift, or think about being a gift. This is my body. If I want to make sure that I'm following that plan, I'm going to be that gift for my future wife or your future husband. Like, try to be that gift exclusively. The same way that God only created Eve for Adam. There was not like, okay, Adam, you have three choices here. Choose one. No, there was an exclusive relationship. And that's be a gift, be a giver, be able to give to others, because then again, that's what we are called to. We give life, give time, do something that allows you to give, because that also takes you out of yourself. um, be self-started. I put self because I know what to match that for. But self, be a person who worries about yourself as well. We have to also have the human aspect if we want to live that theology of the body, that we have to take care of our bodies, go for a run, exercise, take care of what you eat, in the healthy part, because we have to take care of our bodies. We have to make sure that we are um, taking care of that sacredness, because it's a gift. Life is a gift. So I want to prolong that life that God has given me. Be a server, a CP server. Be a server, a CP server, but also a server in the world. Give to others, because that takes you out of yourself. That also takes you out of your mentality in a world where we are really physical, where there's temptations, which that's a reality. That helps you to see, okay, there's something else that I can give myself into. Be prayerful, obviously, like practice your sacraments. If you are not close to the church, that's a good opportunity to start to look for a community, and be a person. I think that's the most important. Be a person in the sense that Jesus was a person. Smile, laugh. Um, be a person in freedom, in truth. I would say. Sometimes we think um, practicing abstinence is already chastity, and you probably learn that in another talk in the future. But there's two different things, because I am not having sex before marriage doesn't mean that I'm not a bad person, or that I'm not prideful, or that I'm not. So be a person, be a person that don't reduce yourself just to your temptations. Because and I tell you for experience, you can just like have years and years and years, just like, okay, I'm gonna fix myself in this temptation. This is what I'm gonna work on for the next 5 years. No, there are many other things that we can, as a person, that we can realize. So I think that's all I got. Thank you once again for listening, and I really hope that God and the Holy Spirit really strike something in your hearts, because I think that's the first step. In order for us to come fully alive, we have to come fully alive in the eyes of God as well. So thank you.
Okay, wow. That
Hello,
was
hello, 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 hello,
that
hello.
was really. I just need to. Let's all just digest for a second. Hay que reposar por un momento porque eso fue una comida bien grande, como bien. Me siento un poco pesado después de eso. It was really good. What do you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, I think you can hear me, right? Yes. Okay. So I've heard this so often, right? Like, my body is a gift, your body is a gift, right? But today it felt a little different because I just imagined when you're a child for Christmas, right? Let's just say, and you're opening your gifts, you're kind of just like, you're trying to open them really, really quickly, right? So you're just like opening them. You don't care about the wrapping. You're just like, throw the wrapping away. Who cares about that? But as you get older, you kind of realize, like, wait, I've wrapped a few gifts now. I know the amount of time and work that goes into all of that. And now I'm just like, before I open my gift, I'm just like, oh, this is so pretty. Thank you so much. Like, that's so kind of you. And then I open my gift, right? And even when I'm opening it, I'm still like trying to cut the edges of it, making sure I'm not really messing up the wrapping. And imagine if we asked God to purify our eyes and our hearts so that we may see others as a gift. Like, wow. Imagine if I looked at Lyndon and I saw a little bow on the top of his head.
Should have worn my
Like,
boat.
wow, Lyndon.
I
and
left it at
that's
home.
just beautiful. Like, we've heard this, we hear this so often, but when we actually sit back and we think about it, like, wow, you're a gift. Like, wow, you're a gift. Like, isn't that so beautiful? And that's what
I
kind of
love
just
that.
like stayed with my heart.
That's beautiful. We gotta chew on that for a while. We need to. Hay que reposar de nuevo. That was a whole other talk. That was beautiful. I love that. Hopefully we can all walk away. Espero que todos nosotros podamos como salir de aquí pensando en eso, pensando que nosotros somos regalos, que nosotros tenemos una dignidad que es amazing. Una dignidad increíble. Es que tenemos una dignidad que viene de Dios, que nosotros somos regalos para el mundo, aunque a veces sentimos que, a veces aún sentimos que somos como like trash, que somos basura a veces, porque actuamos como no, las cosas que nosotros hacemos no importan, pero sí, todo lo que hacemos es bien importante y tiene un efecto en todo el mundo. Y viene de Dios. Y nosotros somos la manera de que Dios actúa en el mundo. Y por eso somos regalos. Y también tenemos regalos para ustedes en la forma de anuncios. Muchos anuncios porque muchas cosas están pasando aquí en Príncipe de Peace Chapel.
Yeah, so our next monthly meeting is November 17th. And as we say the announcements, it might be overwhelming, but don't worry, you can just come up to any of us and we'll tell you the announcements again. So don't worry about it. So November 17th is our next monthly meeting.
El 17 de noviembre tenemos nuestra próxima reunión y ven acá, por favor.
We have a women's group, and our next meeting is on the 25th this month, so 5 days from today. And if you have any questions, if you want to come along, you can just speak to Catalina. She is over there, but you can just speak to any of us, really. It doesn't matter. You can just come up to me.
Catalina está ahí y ella, puedes hablar con ella si quieres asistir al grupo de mujeres. La única cosa es que tienes que ser mujer y entonces puedes asistir. Entonces, como check that, como chequea si eres mujer y habla con Catalina. También Catalina está ahí guiando a todos a ir a confesión. Después de eso vamos a tener una hora santa y durante la hora santa vamos a tener confesión. Esta es una oportunidad de ir a confesión porque a veces es difícil en nuestros parishes, nuestros churches. Okay, also, there's a men's group. Hay un grupo de hombres. Some of the men's group people are here. Hombres del grupo de hombres están aquí. Si tienes preguntas sobre el grupo de hombres, puedes hablar conmigo, porque yo tengo toda la información. Le voy a dar mi número de teléfono y puedes asistir. Tenemos nuestra próxima reunión este sábado a las 7:30 en la mañana aquí. para la misa y también con desayuno y vamos a hacer cosas muy manly. Por ejemplo, we're gonna chop some wood. I'm not even kidding. We're gonna chop some wood. Vamos a hacer como con el, ¿cómo se dice este? ¿Cómo? Hacha. Hacha. Vamos a hacer eso. Vamos a hacer cosas muy manly. Habla conmigo.
Okay. Next, did you say in English? Men's group this Saturday, 7:30. Talk to Lyndon.
Right here. Thank you.
Okay, so we also have our first stage retreat. So in order to go to this first stage retreat, you have to have been to 3 monthly meetings. Oh, perfect, it's right here. So you have to have been to 3 monthly meetings, and first stage retreat will be January 31st through February 2nd. So we invite you all to come to three meetings first, and then to join us at the retreat.
¿Y a ustedes les gustan estas reuniones? Pues espérate, porque este retiro, la primera etapa, esto va a cambiarte el mundo. No, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Eso es. Hablando antes de que nos tapa porque nosotros somos tan diferentes después de eso y también estoy mirando para aquí a unas personas que también hicieron la primera etapa y todos, es que todos están diferentes. Es que va a cambiar tu vida. Vale la pena. En enero, el fin de enero.
Then, as you may know, we have elections coming up. Yes, exactly. So we have elections coming up November 5th, as you may know. And we ask you to just keep in mind that to remain a faithful Catholic. To remain a faithful Catholic means to truly believe in all of the Catholic Church's teachings. And sometimes it's confusing, right? You don't really understand some of the church teachings. So then how can I vote for someone that I don't really know if they even support what I'm supposed to, right? So we invite you to take this time to just maybe search it up on Google. Google is so easily accessible now. You can search it up on Google on what Catholics believe in, and then hopefully that can guide you into picking a president. And we're voting for a lot more than just a president. Yes, and it can help guide you into picking the right person to help us grow in holiness. Because that's what we're called for, is just to grow in holiness.
Pues ora y vota. Es importante. Vote, pray. Also, también tenemos aquí Our Lady's Face. Quiero decirles que yo uso productos de Our Lady's Face. Yo uso especialmente the Priest, Prophet, and King scent. Si quieres tener el olor de un rey, te invito a ir a la mesa de Our Lady's Face. Chequea lo que tienen porque it's good. It's good. You're gonna vas a smell good. You're gonna smell good. Okay.
So Our Lady's Face will be available to you, and it's skincare product. So please, if you're interested, go test it out, see if it works with your skin type, and support.
We are looking for donations. Estamos recaudando fondos para nuestra misión a Cartago, Costa Rica, y hay el QR code aquí.
See, people will be going on a mission to help our missionaries get to Costa Rica. We're asking for donations, and the QR code is available on the screen.
So please help us, por favor, ayúdanos a ir a Costa Rica. And yeah. Oh, now we're going to say the pledge. This is something we say every monthly meeting. Decimos esto en todas las reuniones. It is over here. do we have a Spanish pledge little card?
And as we're trying to figure out where the cards are, I want to ask, has anyone ever been here 3 times already and hasn't received a bracelet? Because remember, you need to be here 3 times so you can go to our first stage retreat. So if it's been your third monthly meeting, come on up.
¿Hay alguien aquí que ha asistido a 3 reuniones mensuales? Que hay
I'm trying
que
to look
venir
at the
aquí
crowd.
para recibir tu brazalete que dice que tú eres muy cool.
Okay, but regardless, we're still going to say our pledge. So I want to just remind, just let you guys know that our pledge is not just words, right? So we invite you to say this, but we actually truly invite you to open your hearts so you can believe this, right? Because this is what we believe in. So sometimes we can say something and it might not sit so well with you, and that's okay. That's okay. You can take that up with prayer. You can speak to a spiritual guide. It's okay. But we invite you to truly understand what the words are saying because as Catholics, that's what we believe in. Okay, so let's start.
So everyone stand up, please. Levántense. Okay. I can attest that my life, faith, work, and actions are in full accordance with the Catholic Church teaching. I believe in chastity, both inside and outside marriage. I believe in the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman. Therefore, I commit to a lifestyle of complete sexual integrity. I believe in the sanctity of all human life. Therefore, I reject abortion as an acceptable option for any woman. My life is always and only for the glory and honor of God. Amén. Okay. Se pueden sentar. Ahora vamos a tener una hora santa. ¿Cómo aprendimos que de teología del cuerpo? Es que Dios está aquí en su cuerpo y su sangre. Dios realmente está aquí. Vamos a pasar una hora con Él en la intimidad de su mirada y de tu mirada. Y es que les quiero que pasen esta hora pensando por un momento por lo menos por qué viniste aquí, por qué estás aquí, qué es la invitación que recibiste para llegar aquí. Y solo disfruta esta oportunidad de pasar una hora con Dios.
As we're having Holy Hour, we're also going to be having confessions. So please, if you feel called, you can go. Really quick, I just want to share that I joined Corazon Puro, like I said, about 2.5 years ago. And the biggest difference, if there's nothing else you need to know about me, you can just know this, is that before CP, I would sin. And I would sin and I would run away from the Lord. I was embarrassed. I was scared. I didn't want him to see me, right? And now the biggest difference that I've noticed is that when I sin, I run to the Lord. I'm just like, Lord, show me mercy. Show me mercy. Like, I am so sorry. Show me mercy. So if you feel called today to run to the Lord, take the opportunity. It's here. There's a priest here. Like, how lucky and how blessed are we that we have a priest? Look, there's already, you see, people going along. If you feel the Lord pulling at the strings of your heart, go. It's here. It's available. So I invite you to go.
Amen.
And we'll be having